Here we are, back in the original GM construct, for episode 11 of WireMod Essentials. In this episode, as per requested by one of my viewers, we'll be creating a time bomb. If any of you have an idea for a tutorial that you'd like to see, or something you're stumped about, drop me a message in my YouTube inbox with a short description, or even a video demo of what you wish to learn about. I'm considering making a second tutorial series dedicated to viewer requests. Anyway, let's head over to the build area to see what I have prepared for us. Now as you can see, I've already assembled a base for us to build our bomb onto. That white board there is where we're going to put our wire circuits. And on the black plate is where we'll put the bomb. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're not going to need all those fancy options, so let's just go ahead and select the simple explosives tool. For damage, I set mine to 200, and range about 300. Make sure that it freezes and welds, and does not remove on explosion. Alright. Now that we have the explosive placed, let's get working on the computer. The first thing we're going to need is a screen, so it'll display the value counting down from 10 to 0 until the bomb explodes. Make sure it has bigger text, only displays one value, and it floors that value. So check those options. Now we need something to trigger the countdown. You can either use a numpad input or a button. In my case, I'm going to use a button. But before we place this, let's move the bomb up to a more manageable area. Like right there. Okay, now that we have it in a place where we can easily place components and wire them, let's place our button. It's going to be 1, 0, and make sure that the button is toggled. For this, I'm going to select the ARM model, because it's appropriate for what we're doing. Alright, we have our button placed. Now, we're going to be placing gates from this point out. The first gate we're going to need is a gate time, specifically the timer gate, which is found at the bottom of the list. Let's place this in the center of the board, right under the screen, like so. Next we're going to need a gate arithmetic. Specifically, we're going to need a subtract gate. Once again, this gate is found at the bottom of the function list. And go ahead and place that somewhere near the timer gate. Now next, we need a value. This value is going to be the number of seconds it takes until the bomb detonates. It's going to be whatever number you want, but for tutorial purposes, I'm going to use the number 10. So put in 10 for the constant value, and make sure the drop-down list is set to number, and then place it anywhere you want. Okay. Now we need a gate logic, specifically a NOT gate. This will turn 1 to 0 and 0 to 1. So when the button is on, the NOT gate will display that it's off, and vice versa. But for now, let's get out a gate comparison. These gates output 1 or 0, depending upon whether or not the conditions are met. The condition we want is a greater than. So let's place a greater than gate. And then, after that, we need a less than gate. Okay, we have both those gates placed now. And the last gate we're going to need, for now, is a gate logic AND, in parentheses, all. This means that whenever input that is being received within the AND gate is greater than 0, the AND gate outputs 1. Okay, now let's go ahead and start wiring. First thing we're going to wire is run from the timer, like so. We're going to wire it to the AND gate, and no double clicking is necessary, since there's only one output. Now let's wire A from the NOT gate to the button. Now this is the effect that gives this. When the button is on, like I'll turn it now, the NOT gate becomes 0. And the button is off now, so the NOT gate became 1. Basically, it inverts whether or not it's outputting 1 or 0, depending on the input. Okay, now let's wire A from the AND gate to the button. Okay, then B from the AND gate will go to the less than. Now while we're over here at the less than, let's go ahead and prepare it. So wire A from the less than to the timer, like so. And B from the less than will go to the constant value of 10. And since there's only one value, you don't need to double click. Now I'm going to demonstrate for you the effect of this. Let's turn the button on, and now that the button's on, the timer's going to start rolling. Since the button and the less than are both displaying 1, the AND gate becomes 1 and permits the timer to run. But as soon as the timer hits 10, like now, then one of them presents 0, specifically the less than gate. And that means that the AND gate presents 0, disabling the timer. Now let's wire reset to NOT gate, so that when we turn off the button, the timer defaults back to 0. Alright. Now let's continue wiring as we were doing. Now we're going to need to deal with the inputs for the greater than gate, since we've taken care of the less than. So, the first thing we're going to wire from the greater than gate is, of course, the input A. And greater than A is going to go to the timer. And then B, once again, will go to the constant value. This will become our trigger for the bomb. When the timer value becomes greater than 10, then the greater than gate is going to output 1, and 1 will detonate the bomb. I'll go ahead and start it off to show you how this works. As the timer goes up, since the output of 1 is being received, then the greater than just became 1, and we died in the explosion. Now throughout this tutorial, the timer's been counting up. But in a proper bomb, the timer counts down until it detonates. To achieve this and invert the value, we need to subtract it from 10. So let's wire A from the subtract gate to the constant value of 10, and then wire B to the timer from the subtract gate. Basically, as the timer goes up, the value being subtracted from 10 also goes up, so 10 goes down. Now we need to get the screen to display this, which is simple enough. Just wire A from the screen to the subtract gate, and there you go, the value of 10. Now the very last thing we need to do, and then our bomb is ready. We need to fuse it. So let's wire detonate from the bomb to the greater than value. And voila, the bomb is ready. So let's press this button here and try it out. Well, that concludes another episode of WireMod Essentials. Once again, if you have any requests, just drop them in my YouTube inbox, and I'll be sure to make a video out of them. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helped.